All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another late night stream of yours truly. I'm your host, Phil and Bernie, Mr. Owen. Yeah, hope you're doing well. I'm doing not too bad. So I wanted to stream tonight because we've had a few things occur in the last couple of weeks or so, and they might seem kind of minor, but they kind of inspired me to really clean up the project on paper and kind of give you guys another perspective, another angle of what we're doing to develop this game. So I figured towards the end of the stream, the presentation anyway, there's kind of the more important stuff. So some of the stuff will be a little bit of repetitive, but it should still be somewhat interesting. Go ahead and play this bad boy. Maybe turn that down. Just touch. Alright, should be okay. Just let me know if you guys can't hear me or anything. Alright, so we'll just get right into it. Alright. So, in lieu of the recent events, I've gone ahead and dubbed Phase 1, which is pretty much done, the Darkness Rises phase. Okay? I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Okay. You guys hear that still? Okay. So, and you'll see why in just a few minutes. So, Phase 1 from March 2016 to, just a few days ago, I'm officially dubbing Phase 1, and we're calling out the Darkness Rises phase. And that is, really pulling everything together, seeing what we have, seeing who's interested, seeing who's inspired, getting them to kind of work with us and collaborate with us. Hi, Sissy. Um, and so that's that, right? We're just it's been done before. The Facebook group has been obviously active for many years, and there's been a few projects that have tried to kind of splinter off and get the game going. But anyway, so long story short, you get the idea of really just honing down the project and what we want it to be and what we're going to do to accomplish it all, right? And then, as you guys know, we have the alpha client, and all of the features that we were able to test and really get down and learn how to create, especially for Mike, obviously, includes all of these functions. And so, this is kind of a no-brainer. You guys know that almost all already. And then, of course, we assembled the team. Started out with just me and Mike. And then we got our artist, Bart, and then, Assyrian, aka Brent, and his girlfriend Viper joined the team as writers and have been working with us. And then more recently, we added Blizz to basically just kind of join the team and help kind of balance things out. And of course, then the next level is kind of the people that helped us either directly or indirectly. Same people. You guys know this already. But for Vision and Killy and Scott and everybody, we really appreciate you guys giving us a hand and supporting us through phase 1. Okay, and then obviously the artwork was completed. Well, some of it was completed. We still have a long way to go to really get what we want out there, as you can see on the right, with all the portraits and whatnot. And we had a theme song, and even this track that's just starting now is a remix. So Brent was inspired by the project, and now we have a theme song. So it's amazing. But we also want to get more illustrations, more portraits. Content releases, and then the client menu and GUI are pretty much spoken for at this point. But we got the plans laid out for all of that, for all of the artwork. And then most recently, I announced that we were actually going to get serious and start drafting a Kickstarter campaign. That's still in the works. And I'm going to call it an alpha version. And then, of course, we filed for LLC. So what that means is we'll be able to operate as very small, like a hobby business, basically, just so that we can offer subscriptions to the game. It's just an idea. We're not banking on anything really, to be honest. It's not important to us that much. But Mike is a software engineer by trade, and this is something I've always wanted to do as far as being a kind of creative director and kind of putting everything, grabbing everybody, talking to people, and doing streams, obviously. So this is what I enjoy doing. So if we can make just a little bit of return on that, then that's great. So we're doing the minimum there to get that going. It's already been filed, and so in about a week we should have our official papers for that, which is awesome. And thank you again so much for your support. And that was all funded by donations, so we really appreciate that. Okay, so that's pretty much my take on phase 1, and I know you guys are probably bored of hearing that. So we'll move on to phase 2, okay? And I really thought about this for a while, and I'm gonna go over this one by one as well. So, first thing is, as you guys know, we're gonna migrate to, browser-based web platform. But more specifically, we step 1 for Mike right now is converting code to the new format, right, which we kind of went over last time. but then he's adding on the two extra meaty kind of sections of this migration is the basic login function, right? And then working on getting all of the old files from the original database and the original server and the host and all that, and basically converting them as well into the new client, the new browser client. So that shouldn't be too hard. It's just a few scripts to write, and then we'll be able to mass convert all those. Like, there's tons and tons and like thousands of files, simply because that's how the system worked. The platform worked before that Mike was using to create the game. So we'll have to do those three basic things, and then we should have a working client. And I'm going to my personal goal is to basically get a closed beta, and so that's going to include whatever and anything that we can think of at the time, whenever that may be. So it'll be, in my mind, it's the official beta client. And then, we'll just start with the closed beta. So, we'll get more on that as that develops. So here's the new news. So, unfortunately, Darkness Rises is trademarked by a decently sized gaming company. It's kind of sad. It was kind of painful to hear that or see that. But unfortunately, since we filed to get official with an LLC and looking for trademarks, this all occurred recently, and so we missed the window of opportunity to actually seal the Darkness Rises name. But it's okay. It's not too terrible. I mean, yes, it's an awesome take on words, but it doesn't matter. Phase 1 is Darkness Rises. We're gonna keep that energy with that, and so I'm not gonna spoil what we came to a decision on, but we have applied for the trademark for it, so that's actually pretty exciting. The kind of bad news is that it takes 3 months for the government to review it, so it's pretty serious kind of process. So that's where we are with that. And yeah, so we're excited with the new name, and we're going to keep Darkness Rises as the LLC name, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't there's no conflict there, so that's what we're going to do. And then, of course, lastly is the migration of social media. So you're going to see me at some point change everything out and just let them. I don't really care. I'm not doing it for the other company. We're doing it for our project. We want to have a stable, no problems, kind of project here, and set up the future as best as possible. So we're going to go this route, get this new trademark. If it succeeds and we actually get it, it's actually going to be pretty cool. And then, so hopefully it doesn't take 3 months, but, that's the government for you. So yeah, that's going to be on my list in the near future. And then updates on Kickstarter. So like half of what Kickstarter needs to have to start a campaign is relying on some of these things that are in the process of being completed, which is the LLC, creating a whole bunch of other things and linking it to the campaign, and then kind of rewriting it. So there's a chance that we will wait until the trademark is secured and we will use that name for the Kickstarter campaign. So, so we're looking at another 3 months for a lot of updates as far as being official with the project, having domains reset and all that, and then we're gonna keep working on the Kickstarter campaign as far as I'm gonna keep working on it to really hone it down, clean it up, and make sure it's just right, because it's pretty exciting to throw this out there and try to get some more eyes on the project, to help us go over the rest of the kind of costs that we have foreseen. So anyway, that's actually really the only updates I have right now. So I'm actually just gonna leave it at that. I don't see any questions at the moment, unless my chat is screwed up. Oh yeah, nice. Sorry guys, I had the chat thing up, but I forgot to add it on this. My bad. Stupid Owen. Okay, yeah, so well, I think that in the grand scheme of things, we could keep the name the same, but just for the game. But I think that when we are advertising it and we're saying, "Hey, come subscribe to this game," if that's definitely what ends up happening, then we're providing a product, right? And legally, the reality is that even for a small game, it's kind of it's kind of up to opinion at this point, because this is definitely a smaller community, at least from the, when the game starts. But these other large companies or larger will probably take it pretty seriously, and the thing is that we're in the same the same service. We provide the same kind of service. So if there's anything that takes away from their profit or their outreach or their advertising due to us, then they have a basis to say, "Hey, we have the trademark for this. Please stop what you're doing." So that's really what it comes down to, and it's unfortunate. So we just decided that it's not worth the hassle. We've got other things kind of in the in the air, I guess, but not really, so we don't want to add to that, if that makes sense. Darkness ascends, darkness ascending, darkness falls up. Yeah, I like that. So yeah, anyway, Nexon is, we're gonna default here to Nexon, and that's fine. No big loss there. Yeah, they're based in Korea, and I think they have a few other games, maybe. So they could probably get pretty serious with us if they wanted to. So yeah. And then I guess some other things that I can think of, for those of you who were looking to really get or have the old portraits from DFC as like blown up and framed and everything. I did my my initial test of actually creating one, and I'm actually just gonna go ahead and upload that. So let me close this. You guys probably don't need that. Okay, so I'm gonna add a picture here. All right, so I did the null original. Let's see if I do this right. Yeah, okay, so here's the original, right? See how small it is? That's, so OBS, the broadcasting software that I'm using, will automatically just blow up any picture you upload onto the stream. So, you know, when it does this and it gives you a tiny picture, you know that the quality is really it's really dependent on the size of the actual drawing that they kind of scanned. Except these are all hand sketched with like pencil. They're really cool. I know most of us really love them. But in order to protect ourselves in the project, obviously we recreate them. So this is like, this is the original. I'm gonna see if there's any difference here. No. Just go with that. So what I did was I just increased the pixels per inch, basically. That's kind of the easy way, I guess, to do it. And you can't really tell the difference if just at a glance, but let's go ahead and do this side by side real quick. So as you can tell, it actually does look okay, because like the one on the right, the original, is, it's definitely more blurry, for sure. But I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, it's kind of very minor. So the one on the left is blown up, and it's actually it doesn't look too bad. So but this is like 3.5, 4 inches wide by like 4.5 inches long or tall. So I mean, that's not going to make an amazing portrait in a frame. At least that's my opinion. So that's kind of what I've tried so far. Hopefully those of you that wanted these in particular can kind of let me know. Maybe I'll clip it or something. But I know Curtis and Zachary, you guys definitely were liking the idea of this, so we'll definitely give it a shot if you guys want to. Okay, what else? I thought there was something else I was going to mention. Let's see. Go ahead and hide these again. Do you guys want to see some teasers for elder portraits? Or is there anything else that you would like to see? Let's see. Yeah, what? Yeah, portraits. Okay. Alright. Hat mark there. Oh, you like the music? Yeah, believe it or not, this was the original music. I want to hear more stuff about how DFC was broken and weird, like wolf skills and such you talked about ages ago. Oh, okay. Sure, I'll do that. I'll give you guys a teaser too of the so yeah, okay. So if you're wondering what this is going to be, these are teasers to for rewards when you get level 75, which is the max level, and it's like super duper hard to get. And I thought it would be really cool to give you guys an elder portrait So this is Bartolomeo's kind of renditions of elders for um, male and female vampire, female ogre, and a male Tamian paladin specifically. So let me know what you guys think. Oops, let me turn the other one off. There we go. So there's a Tamian. And that's that's the female vampire. Female ogre. And then last but not least, the male vampire. So those are kind of the first. These are like kind of Bartolomeo's first kind of ideas, and I thought they looked pretty cool. So we're gonna keep them, obviously, and then so those are some teasers. Let me put some text in here. I'll talk about wolves in just a second. I just want to make sure I get this. Elders, turrets, teaser. Oh my god. Alright, so we're okay. So back in the day, we talked about other weirdness. Okay, well, so one thing that was really broken with the game was, everybody's kind of heard this, but I'll just go down the list. First thing I can think of was traps, and how I forget who it was. I think it was Valve or Doritos, or I'm sure they definitely started doing it, but I can't remember who actually started it officially. But what they would do, let me see if I get this right. They would trap. They would use the trap skill on like a locked door, or like a special door, and somehow that would it was broken. The mechanism in the game was broken, so that if you put items, I think, inside the trap or in that room, and then you set the trap off or something like that, it would actually crash the server. And when the server came back up, it would dupe all the items that you had dropped or put inside an object or something like that. I know I'm missing something in that, but that's basically what the trick was. So whenever, if you remember, people complaining about players like damn it, they crashed the server again because we were going for their idols. That's probably majority of the times how they did that. So another interesting thing about that is I'm not sure if this actually ties into this, but I think the trapdoors as well as the quests in DFC were broken because there just wasn't enough memory or enough storage space in the the headquarters systems, right? And ghosting. Let me move this over, and I'll just put it right there. So the reason why all the quests were broken, or a majority of them were broken, is because there wasn't any room in the database for them. So I think what they did is, because I'm trying to remember how chronologically this worked. I know some of you know this story better than I do, but basically they turned off the quest, the whole questing feature in general, and stopped developing new quests. But I know they did some, but they basically had to delete like a room or an area just to put in a quest, because it was all stored the same way back then. And I also heard a story in that regard from a very random special person that kind of reached out to me out of the blue, and she told me some stories, some crazy stories. Um, and one of them was how the only way to back up the servers was to like put it on a zip drive, I think. You remember those those really like thick floppies, essentially. It was like a zip disk, and they would upload. You know, they would do. There was some staff commands and etc. that would go through the game, make sure everything was legit and all the rooms were clean and whatever else, and then they would upload that version to a disk, and then they would have to physically take that disk out, go plug it in somewhere else or something like that, and then come back and then like so you have all these physical zip drives, zip disks to store all like literally the entire game, and the only way to reboot, you know, the game was to interact with those zip disks or something like that. So it's kind of funny hearing that because just, you know, she made it sound very chaotic, and you know, as we all remember, the game went down constantly. So there's that. You know, I do want to just touch on wolves because it's kind of stuck in my head, but really the only thing about wolves, I think, was the fact that shapeshift, their main ability, was based off of it was in the miscellaneous what you call it, you know, skill tree, rather than like in offense or magic or you know, something like that, or it may have been under magic. I can't remember which one, but essentially what that means is people like Nyx, for example, who had really low wisdom stat, had a really hard time shapeshifting because nobody really bothered to mention or, you know, maybe code it a little bit more intelligently, so that shapeshift was actually made more sense, was more logical. Like, I don't know, I think shapeshift, it's, you know, it's an interesting concept. Like, okay, how do you turn that into a feature in a text-based game? How do you code it, right? So I think all we can say is that I know what you're saying there too. NPCs wouldn't attack because shapeshift forms turned you into an NPC, essentially. And I think as long as they were, you know, in general, NPCs didn't attack other NPCs, but I know that that's not entirely true because pets and I'm sure that there's other instances. I don't recall specific ones, but I know that NPCs could have attacked other NPCs in Darkness Falls: The Crusade. But you would have to have a special flag on that specific NPC that says, like for example in Motapa Hills in Chaos, right? There were hunters and like I'm stretching here, but we were incognito among nature. That too. But you know, there were hunters in Motapa Hills, and then there was also, I'm trying to remember, I should know this, but I can't remember that there were these animal NPCs there too, and the hunters would attack them because they're hunting them, obviously. So yeah, like they can do that, but 90, you know, the other 98% of NPCs just did not attack other NPCs unless there was a specific reason for it. So that's kind of why there. Okay, so another thing is, if I remember this right, things like Lizardman, their fiery breath, as well as martial arts, the skills specifically, and I almost want to say tap as well, but that's just kind of an assumption. But those two skills for sure, and definitely martial arts way at the top, and then pretty sure fiery breath was right below that. what I'm getting at is they were kind of broken because, um, the original designers um, didn't take into account the scaling of their damage and their percentages for the long game and the end game, um, which only leads me to believe they didn't think that the game was going to last that long, but it did. It lasted longer than they thought. Um, so people were leveling and leveling and leveling and getting closer to 70, 75. And I'm sure you guys remember the monks in the 70s, the level range of 70 to 75 were insanely hard to go up against. So main reason for that is the martial arts skill specifically is just scaled way too high for the amount of trains, the normal amount of trains that anybody would put into it. And it was also like there was an invisible modifier, I think. But either way, yeah, they just there was some kind of invisible pumps in the game that never got dealt with. And those are things I brought up a long time ago, saying that that's definitely not going to be an issue because it's a new project, so there's no way we can embed these old bugs into our game because they don't exist anywhere in the game files basically. So yeah, let's see what else. Those are kind of the major ones. And let's see what else. Obviously the Aleph multi-clienting code, which everybody used. That's not very controversial. And let's see what else. Ghosting for sure, that was an issue. But it wasn't entirely game breaking. It was just kind of a bug that never got fixed. And then of course there was the troll berserk bug where if a troll was wielding a casting staff, a weapon that had a spell on it, any weapon with a spell on it. Now that I think about it, yeah, they could berserk their enemy, and if they hit with the initial damage, then the spell would trigger, right? So the game interpreted that spell attack as an attack. Therefore, it totally negates the penalty for using berserk, right? So if you guys remember, trolls were big and beefy and slow, but they could do a lot of damage at the cost of losing their defense, right? So that's the gamble of playing a troll, and yours truly, I was a troll for many years, and so I have lots of experience with this. But ultimately, if you were the gamble was do you berserk somebody and go for the gamble that you actually hit them, because if you don't, then nothing happens and you're screwed because your defense is gone. It's like I think it's like it takes your defense and then it just turns it into a negative number. So it's kind of like being naked times 2 in a way, if that makes sense, based on your armor or your defense level or something like that. It was really bad. It made sense as a mechanic and in a fantasy way, but anyway. So many people, like Inferno Dragon, for example, they would constantly rip on trolls, saying trolls are cheating because they're using caster staffs to berserk and never have any defense problems. But I mean, really, the highest realm title that any trolls got was Greater Fiend, and I mean, I haven't checked the list in a while, but that's fairly low compared to all the others. So all right, I actually want to these are some remixes, and I kind of want to step away from this and play some more of the other ones. Let's see. This is a really good song. I've been kind of nerding out with these. They're so good. And then once you get away from those kind of controversial topics of how broken the game was, you kind of get into the everybody knows stuff, which is, you know, staff members creating items and changing stats on people. This guy, this guy's name is EPHIXA, efixa.com. All of his tracks are amazing. He did the opening that I did today. It's actually a World of Warcraft song. So good. Anyway, hidden stats. Wait, if you just mean in general, like controversial ones, I guess, those would be things like poison resistance, bleed resistance, disease resistance, stun resistance, and I think those are the main ones, to be honest. But, and I'm not just talking about like vulnerabilities, you know, that kind of takes it into account. But what actually went down was that each race has a number value set in the system that says you have this much resistance to when you get hit, in particular with a melee attack or a spell. You have a base resistance to, you know, starting to bleed from that attack, which, as we all know, is pretty devastating, especially if you're, you know, about to die. That's the only one I can really think of, but, you know, I'm sure some staff members probably hex-set a dude and all kinds of weird stuff. I tell a story all the time, but I remember when a certain player helped me travel from chaos to good by entering an item like it was a portal, and that was trippy. I'd never seen anything like that. But the reason why was because I was playing a friend's account in good, which I rarely played, and I got killed with his hunting gear, his good gear, right, in the bank. And, you know, this guy looted everything, and I was like, oh no, like, that's like the worst feeling in the world, is losing somebody else's hard-earned stuff. So, you know, I went on AIM just like we all did, and I said, oh dude, I didn't mean to do that, like, can you just help me out? I really don't want to, like help me out here. And he's like, oh yeah, sure, meet me in Ravenwood Marsh, you know, in the north. And it's like, okay. He drops an item and he goes, type enter the item, and I was like, okay. And I just poofed right into like Carindel, you know, the main city of good. It was crazy, and I dropped all this stuff. So in a way I had to cheat to set it right. Okay, this is Kirby, but I don't want to listen to that one right now. Let's listen to this one. Oh, and I do realize that this may make the video of the day, or whatever it's called, the VOD, unwatchable because the songs are possibly copyrighted. But I mean, you guys got to be here live to enjoy the show. Am I right? Am I right? So anyway. That's about all I can really think of. You haven't heard this yet? I can turn it up if you want me to, if it's low. It's low? Yeah, it's a good one. It's an old one, but it's so good. I'm gonna turn it up on my end because I just love it so much. Hex editing was hard, yeah. Did you guys ever do it in Mage Storm? I know that was kind of popular too. The name of the song is, it's literally Tetris theme dubstep remix, and it's done by this guy named 8-Bit, I think, or music's 8 bits. So I just type 8-Bit Tetris and it pulls this up. Yeah, it's I don't know what the original song is called. I'm sure the original name is out there somewhere. Speed hacks in GameStorm, yeah. I I got banned for giving my like level 4 magician like fireball just to like kill everybody in one hit. Cause like I'll be damned if my 10-year-old self was gonna actually level up to 30. Like that was impossible back then, it felt. But I played the revival though, it was a lot of fun. Let's see. See if there's any other files I can show you guys that I'm working on. I'll turn this up. And I'll play the Warcraft one again. I can't stop listening to that. Does the revival still exist? That's a really good question. So alright, I'm not actually talking about the more recent one, right? Because there was one that was like being redone and way better graphics, like with the Unreal design kit or something like that, or Unity, I think maybe. I actually don't know where the older one is anymore. But his name was Soren, S-O-R-E-N, or Sorian, I think, right? Mage Storm Reborn? Oh, here's some old Reddit posts. Okay, that's the end of that song. Alright, playing, where is it? Warcraft hard trance. I love this stuff. So good. Why do they keep changing Cade's openings? Oh, great question. So hopefully this song isn't too loud. God, this song is so good. Okay, so Cade, in the early days, it was free for all, right? And Um, so it was pretty crazy, to say the least. Constant battles, constant looting, constant people just like moaning and complaining, and exactly, yeah, cheating, all of that. So, um, um, so I think, I don't know what caused the transition from that to, okay, we gotta just share Cade like on a timer, one at a time, one realm at a time, right? So it's probably safe to say, it's getting a little loud. It's probably safe to say that all that stuff we just said was the reason for that. So there was another big chunk of changes that was going to be implemented. It started getting implemented towards the end of the game, before it got shut down, and so this was led by Vassie, right? Our guy Vassie, who did the Syra project, or Syra, sorry. He was a staff member at the time. I think he might have been game master, and he was basically going to rewrite a lot of different things, including Cade. And what he was going to do is he was going to take the areas in Cade and break them up and spread them out between the three realms in their realms. So they would take, Buccaneer's Den or Time Told Range or whatever, and maybe give it a makeover and then plug it in somewhere in Chaos, Good or Evil. And that way because if I remember correctly, staff members had a really hard time dealing with players, kind of continuing to cheat, but also the fact that if you stayed in Cade past the time that it was for your realm, you would still be there. So you could literally just log in, and you wouldn't technically be allowed there, but you still, your character still could access it. So that meant that you had to send staff members to get teleported home, and that was a major gripe issue for them. So if I don't really remember a lot of other issues, so hopefully it wasn't just that, because that's kind of a stupid reason in my opinion to get rid of Cade. But no offense, Vassie, at all. Yeah, the gloves. Yeah, dude, tell me about it. So anyway, that's kind of what happened with Cade in general. And then Vassie was also going to change spells completely, and a whole overhaul to the system to deal with tap and the overpoweredness of tap, and also to help boost the spell power and damage of the lower level spells, right? Untapped spells. And then he was going to call it front loaded, so that I think he was going to get rid of tap altogether as well. So it was an interesting concept, interesting interesting idea, but they ran out of time and never really got to it. Oh yeah, that's a good question. I think so. In keeping with the traditions, I'm gonna say kind of a more than partial yes to that, and that means the mechanic of increasing your wisdom intelligence modifiers to research spells. Particularly, you don't need it for training your skills, right? But you do to get a larger success chance of learning, X amount of spells or levels of spells within a certain spell list. So yeah, I think that the the idea behind that is going to stay there. Um, but with some other and a lot of other specific cases, um, it's going to be up to how Mike and I and ultimately everybody um, uh, kind of feels about it while we're testing. So once you know we're gonna get the beta client up, and then we're just gonna play in this test mode for as long as it takes to really get it cleaned up. So, and I'm totally open to like changing something completely if it really needs to. But I don't foresee that happening. Oh yeah, this is the Arthas song uh, as a dubstep, so it's kind of cool. Um, nice. Oh, this. I know, right? Oh, the earlier. Okay, so I mean, it's not here yet, but um, essentially, the first step in phase two, right, is um, yeah, yeah. I wonder if they. I'm gonna look up the lament next. Um, so I didn't write a lot for that because there's really nothing to write. But so so this is where I was starting with. So the first big step for Mike, especially, is these three different things, which is converting um, Darkness Rises from C, the programming language, into HTML, Java, Angular, etc., etc., etc. Um, and just basically having that as the primary um, source code. Then once that is in a comfortable place for us to kind of get a bare bones client finished, he's going to work on the login function because we have to redo that. We had one already, but we gotta update, do that, updo. Um, I like that, updo. We're gonna updo that login function for the web, and then finally we have to migrate all of the data, the physical data of items, rooms, spells, etc., areas, doors, NPCs, I believe, pretty much everything, all the game stuff, right? So, once Mike is able to complete a good chunk of those, then I said I was gonna really push for just getting a beta client, or the beta client. I in phase one, I said that you know um, let's see, the alpha client, right? All of the any streams from since the last time the client was up, and all the way back to when I started, that's all alpha, and that's kind of the official statement now. So now that we're kind of past that, we're gonna move forward, and then we're gonna call this the beta. Um, so yeah, that's kind of what I went over. Um, okay, what are we playing now? Zelda's Lullaby. Okay, I'll allow it. I'll see. I'm gonna search for the other one. Lament of the Highborn. See what results I get. bad, not bad. Dubstep remix. Oh, there is one. Let's see. Okay, so the guy that did this song did one. So I'm gonna play that. Pause. Alright, let's see what he did with this. From Young Chocolate, The Great Fall. Dubstep. I'm sorry, I don't like that. Darkness falls again. Darkness just keeps falling. Damn it. That would actually be. We should do like a what do you call it? A darkness tripping. It should be like some kind of comedy. What the hell is that word I'm trying to think of? Yeah. I don't like that sound. He screwed that one up. I'll try a different one. There's like dubstep can be good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just say that. Some people can write a good dubstep song. I think. Let's be real. Hard trance is way better. But anyway. I'm not seeing a lot of good choices here. Wait. What is Midna's Lament? Oh, it's Zelda. Oh, that's probably where they got it from. Blizzard is so unoriginal. Darkness tripping was a camping trip that never happened. I like that. Darkness lost balance and tripped, fell, and rose back up again, then tripped again a few times, then finally just fell hard. I dig it. I'm not sure I can trademark that many words, but I can't. I don't want to give away the new name yet, because we haven't solidified it. Yeah. So they they I mean, probably a good reason why you don't remember them is that it's because they just decided not to keep them in. Why did the camping trip not happen? Is this a joke? Because I don't know why. I'll put some music on, don't worry. Screw it, let's just listen to Midnight's Lament. another Zelda song. And then I'm gonna go like really off center here and play some Viking crazy music. Found it yesterday. I was gonna say that. Why would a camping trip not happen? I mean, because Eternal forgot the damn raft. That's a good reason. Yeah, we are Vikings. We're the brown version, the brunette version of Vikings. Roll low. Roll low. Okay, MaidStorm.net is no longer reachable. So it looks like you can clip that for him, Will, if you want. Right, yeah. That's like worse than an Imager, Camp Imager, right? Or Camp Imgur. Anyway, sorry, I haven't forgotten. So quests were broken, you know, like that. I talked about that, where they were, you know, duping items eventually led to quests being broken, I think, if I remember that correctly. But ultimately it was a memory issue. They just couldn't have all the quests and all the rooms and all the areas and all the items and all the spells in at the same time, because there was limited disk space. How crazy is that? Alright, let's turn autoplay off, please. Thank you. Yeah, you'll like this music, Alex. Where are we? I'm in that window. Totally sounded like that. What's it called? Oh no, I forgot. There we go. When I listen to the full show, it's like an hour long. I'll just load it up anyway. Let's see. Should I play a game or something? Should I just load up some kind of wonky game and play it while we talk about Darkness Falls? People are gonna watch the VOD and be like, what the hell is this stream? Okay, here we go. So this is a live show. I'm just gonna turn it up. I'm gonna warn you, it's a little weird at times. Some old logs. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. Connect 4. Oh, we should play Scribble. That game is so fun. Yeah, let's do some logs. I like that idea. Cause I have quite a few actually. Caps. All right. Some people have told me that they didn't want me sharing them. So let's see if I can remember who that was. Not them. No, wait, I think they were okay. So I have logs from Nyx, the Muffin Man, Killy. I have Casanova, aka Neutron. And I think those are the only ones that that I've agreed to share. So why don't we? What do you got? What kind of logs do you want to see? Is there anything in particular that would be interesting? Okay, so they're just the music is it's a live show, and they're doing a like a little ritual right now before the show. It's really cool. Here, I'll link it to you, Alex. Should probably just make a window for it so you guys can watch it with me. But I don't want to do that right now. High-end zones that I never got to see. Okay. Cedar, Redwood, really? Ren and Stimpy? Nicely done. Nicely done. Alright, high level areas. Aw. Dad jokes. Yeah, I don't blame you, Artificial. Like, I definitely made a lot of alts in the beginning. But towards the end, I was like, okay, I know how to, like, create a strong character now. I'll just get the best gear possible. And, you know, here we go. Here's the horn of new beginnings. I'm looking here. I'm gonna find... Let's do this one. Let's see how we can do this. Make it a little wider. Alright, so I'm going to... Let's see if we can do this. Yeah, I guess that works. All right. So there's a lot of chanting like this. If it's too weird, just let me know, and I understand. Totally understand. All right, so okay, that works out pretty good. Don't need to capture the cursor. Whatever. Okay, we'll just do that. Alright, cool. This might be a little too hardcore, but I don't know. You guys let me know. I can change it if you want. It's good stuff, though. I'm gonna close this. Alright. Alright. So this is a priest leveling up in... let's see. Smash hunting in the mines. What is it called? Ancient crystalline mines of Fala. So this was, I believe, an endgame area for good that may have been from Cade. I don't recall exactly, but damn it. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure my windows are all good. Yeah, so he had. So this is the Muffin Man, aka um, I'm blanking on his other characters, but anyway, he was a huge orc. You know, most people knew him towards the end, anyway. And he had an alt priest. So anyway, so he had a glowing striated crystal staff, probably 0 wield. Right. He's getting hit for 0 damage. You know, not getting hit by spells. So, you know, the damage is pretty low. I'm not sure what race he was. But so, you know, 31 damage is pretty minimal. But yeah, even I mean, that's not he might be on normal or something. There you go, that's a good hit. So that's another thing that I miss about DFCs and DF is, you know, it was difficult, you know? Like, it wasn't, you know, once you got the best items, it was a little different, obviously, but even the best items had a wide range of damage, you know? So that's nice to see. So he's traveling through the mines, looks pretty hunted out. See what we can find here. Tharsden, Game Master. I forget who that is. And this was taken on October 5th. Or, sorry, 2005. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. The combat stances made a lot of gave a lot of creativity with your gameplay and combat. All right, so we'll keep going. It's just basic hunting locks. Got 100 hit there. That's pretty good. So these guys have quite a decent amount of hit points. But he's not taking any damage. 6 damage. Like, pretty sure he's a dwarf priest, so he's pretty hardy. 65k for priest smash hunting at 3,000 silver. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty pumped. I think he has all idols too. Let's see. Just keep going here. I should totally do like a 24-hour stream where I just read every single word and every line. That'd be hilarious. If that's what it takes to get Kickstarter fully funded, I will do it. It's very meditative music. I liked it. There's Marrow. Another wizard, or a wizard, I think. Kana. I think she was a priest. Alright. Nothing too exciting going on here. Let's scroll down a little bit more. Supposedly chaos was invading, so that would be fun to watch. Okay, still in the mines. So he's an aggressive. And missed the spell. But the sigil on the spell hit him minor damage. So yeah, he's pretty pumped. He probably had some good gear. Wrecked, getting wrecked. LMAO. Yeah, let's keep going down here. 67,000. See, that's a little ridiculous, in my opinion. This lady gets high, man. Titan Crystal Element. Oh, that's... Is that the mop scope? Yeah, that's cool. I don't think I saw that one. Alright, is this interesting? Like, is this putting you to sleep? I just want to know, because I've never done this. Ancient Crystalline Mines. Marrow's looking around, tap on her. Crystalline Boots. Might have been like the regen boots or something. I can't remember what they did. Okay, so Alto was killed by Jero. You like it? Cool. Spell list or someone exploring. That's a good idea. I also like doing who lists so you can see all the names of the players. So here's his stat sheet, right? Look at the stats. Auto rolled for sure. So yeah, Dwarf Priest, level 50, which is like kind of small. Talk about some invasion gear that I never got. Okay. Well, I'm not sure which ones he never got, but we can definitely do that. So yeah, look at that. 18 strength, con, it's like whatever. 20 agility, 18, 17, 18. 20 agility, like, how long did he roll for those stats? It's insane. 83 realm points. That's pathetic. But anyway, level 50. Yeah. Okay, so here's some gear. He's got the Striated, Crimson Dragon Scales. Crown is good, but not that rare. Demon Bane Pentacle, meh. Crimson Hooded Velvet Cape. That's from Chaos, I think. Druid Leggings, like whatever. Yeah, like this isn't good gear. This isn't that rare. You got none? Well, that makes it easier for me. Weirdly banned for crashing the game a few times, trying to auto-roll. Like, well, I think 50 is definitely more than enough to get you banned. Do you remember, like, the first auto-roller? It was called, let's see if I can dig in the old brain for this. Oh man, it's on the tip of the tongue. I can't remember what it was called though. Excuse me. There was one before Shags. But I don't remember. All right, let's do. All right, so here's as of October in 2005. All gone, but it would be blank. Oh yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure. So that's Frencham. He was a big guy. Terran, Pog, Tankin, Gasp, Zillion. Oh, speed hacking it. Mage Storm. Yeah, I think I had something like that. Um, yeah. Yeah, I remember something similar. I have a feeling this is a song dedicated to wolves. Just a guess. Oh, I guess Zillion was. That's not a player. Okay. So where's this invasion at? Okay, so with all idols, he has 281 weapon skill, 259 evasion, 251 percept. Not bad. It's not great. It's not super great, but it's you know, solid. Anyway, all right. Where would I go for gear? I guess I would go to Nyx, because Nyx had all kinds of stuff. Let's see what else we can find here. I'm gonna close this one. And then we're gonna open up. Nyx had some crazy stuff. All right, here's one from Nyx. Kitchen Stinger, Darkblade, Whose Boots, yeah. Whose Boots, definitely from Christmas. The handkerchief. Yeah, you're pretty old school, dude. Do you remember your character names? Alright, so this is Nyx. Spriggan Warrior. Why is he getting killed by Spriggan Warriors? Yeah, okay, that's fair. Alright, so Nyx had Shardic leggings. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much what I did too. I also played Legends of Kesmai a lot back then. Akan, the big ol' fixer. Okay, so there's Raging Wolf, Nefertiti, Gorthar, all respectable wolves. Why is he dying in the Rowan Groves? I don't get it. That was a low-level area, what I remember. Just getting decent amount of experience. Phishing people's passwords? Nice. Well, I'll be sure to keep you on the watch list. Yeah, I don't get it. This guy's dying in Unicorn Glen, and Nyx is hunting in the Rowan Groves. Or he's invading. I'm having a hard time placing where Rowan Groves was. But, I mean, it looks like... You're 8. I mean, if you could fish for accounts at 8, that's pretty impressive. I mean, be real. I think this is Chaos, but I'm blanking. I know I have all the files and all the databases and everything, but I only go through them 2 or 3 times a year. Yeah, that's what I thought too. But it's similar to... Oh, okay. It's very similar to Tenebrous Hollow and Chaos. so I wasn't sure. Or split second. I was thinking it was connected to that. I do remember this. I remember the series of stones across the string. I do remember that being an evil, so yeah. Anyway, it's just weird that he was dying. But, I mean, I'm sure there's a reason. Serpentine Mountains. Trying to get a view of his gear. Wastes of Olmran is like one of his favorite areas, it seems like. And then he goes to the grasslands. Oh wait, so he's going home, so... Rowan Groves. Serpentine Mountains. Wastes of Olmran. Grasslands. Tamia Local. So that's how you got back from there. So see, this sounds like it was east from Tamia. So that's weird. Anyway. Sakura. Okay, so this is Nyx's inventory. Fine scaled robe, Shardic leggings, NPC like no drop gloves, I believe, right? From Endless Night. That's not a NPC drop, but it's okay, I guess. Blue diamond pendant. I think it's like a one-of-a-kind or really rare item. White Star emblems were pretty rare, but they got duped a lot. Circus cloak, pretty rare. Hood of Lost Souls. I don't recall, but I think that's an NPC or kind of a rare drop as well. But I could be wrong on that. That's 50-50. And he's also carrying a halo, gypsy leggings, and the Christmas shoes. Let's see, what else does he have? Okay, he's got a choo-choo train, which, you know, doesn't do anything, but it's rare. Yeah, Candy Cane Halo. I think that was from like one of the first Christmas invasions. And then they got changed. So keep this in mind. The flawless blue diamond pendant. Keep that in mind, because he has logs of using that item. Hey boule, hey boule. Okay, so now he's holding it, right? Same gear. Fire Maned Hell Wolf. Earthquake Matic. Really good weapon. What is he wearing now? Lustrous Black Hood of Lost Souls. Nice. I'm trying to remember where that's from. DF1, there was some Lobby dude that got some hilt of the Sword of Olmran. It's a really good question. I know... Oh, nice. Yeah, that unfortunately happened to a lot of people. No, I don't know. My DF1 knowledge is pretty limited, to be honest, in comparison to DFC. Uh-oh, I forgot to take that off. That's okay, it doesn't matter, it's not bugging out. Anyway, so he's... Alright, here's some good... You can see his stats here. So, here's what we're talking about, right? Nyx had 8 wisdom. I believe that's the lowest it could possibly be. And even with 8, he has a 9% bonus. So let's compare that to intelligence. He has 13 with a -2. Okay. And constitution has a 12 for a bonus of 14%. So that gives you an idea. So let's just say 9. I'm going to do some math here. 9 divided by 8. 9 is 1 and an eighth, right? I'm not a statistician or a mathematician, so I think I did that right. So that means for every point of wisdom, he gets a little over 1%, right? that make sense? Yeah. So say say you had the maximum. We'll do 8 times, make sure I get this right, 1.125, that equals 9, so 20 times 1.20, 1.125. So if you had the max stat possible in the wisdom, you would have 21.5, or basically 23 or 22, depending on the system in DFC, percent bonus to wisdom. So that means that wisdom, unbeknownst to every wolf probably, especially the old ones, did not know that wisdom was an important stat. So he has 130 trains. So like you see the disparity here, shapeshifting 252%, and then evade 383. That's 131% difference. That's pretty huge. So you see that, right? You fail to shapeshift. Right? Okay, so here's this bank. Now I know this is probably hard to read for those of you who've never seen this, but this was a bug where your bank, so when you go into the bank, a pop-up would automatically pop up that you could interact with, a window, right? So that you could play with your bank and all the items in your bank. But if it was full or really full, and I think if you had a lot of stuff in your inventory, it would just print your bank like this in the game window rather than popping up. So you got no pop-up and you would get this. Okay. So he's got a bunch of random stuff. Slick leather collar hanging around his neck. I think it was made for him by a staff. Jagged obsidian warlock shaft. It's like some old invasion drop, I think. That's his guild items. Guild item. Nyx when he got married to Lorne. I'm not entirely sure who that was. Not sure. I don't know. I just wasn't in the know back then. Essence of Virtue. No clue what that was. Can't remember. Magi Shield. Not that super rare, but from good. Right. Yeah. All kinds of crazy stuff. Staff of Souls was a great item. Hippogriff leggings, yeah. Fury Ice Drake scale. So he kept a lot of small shields because he would test them out. Because if you don't remember, werewolves can hold items in their hands and then shapeshift and have the benefits of those items. So that was kind of a cool thing. Manacrow crown, yep. Let's see, where was I? Slice of blood red velvet cake. Can't remember what that did. I think it was like healthy or bless maybe. Halfling hands were from Black Keep, I think, or like the old Black Keep or something like that. They like, for some reason they stopped dropping or something like that. Training. Oh, okay. So research, wisdom, intelligence kind of thing. Cade drop. Mental prowess. Now, I can't remember where these actually came from, but I think they were NPC drops. And, but these got duped to hell because they were like the best pain protection. Cade drop. Ferrum Greaves. That was also a invasion drop. Oh, the skull. Okay, yeah. Zacarnian Embermatic, I think, was either Cade or just a regular drop. Dragon Master Pendant from Cade. right? I think the hide. No wait, I can't remember. Grandmaster's timepiece was from Time Told. One of these two is like hide and pain protect. Hide skill increase, and pain protect. I can't remember. Another special, wedding item. Were jackal skin. No idea. Okay. Torn soul, the chieftain's crown from good, as you mentioned. So yeah. Anyway, lots of interesting stuff. That's the end of that log. Close that. Let's go down a little further. Ooh, boy. Oh, here's some PvP. Him tracking an ogre. Moving wrong. Okay, that's weird. That's also annoying. Okay, what the hell am I doing wrong here? Oh, that's why. There. Okay. I kept thinking I was moving the original. Okay, so he's fighting Ignited Ogre. So his open hands miss once, hit for 64, and then his sigil then hits procs and then hits twice. So meaning that the werewolf of the end game had sigils on their forms to make up for their. That's another thing that was broken. Was that werewolf shapeshift attack was actually pretty poor. I can't remember why, but so their damage was not great. So what they did, or like their accuracy was really low. I think that's what it was. So the accuracy was super low. So staff, I think Rashka gave them sigils so that they would guaranteed hit at least 3 times, no matter what combination. So either if you go like whiff, and then you get 3 sigil hits, if I remember correctly. So, and that's going to be slightly different in our game, but that's going to require a bit of testing. Alright, sneaking around, there's Ignited. 48 damage. It's not terrible considering Ignited's probably running away and in parry. And then a pain sigil on wolf form, like that's insane, right? It's a decent amount of damage. 2-second timer. Right? Or 3-second timer, I guess. Running around trying to find Ignited. Where's that ogre? It's probably like out of power and can't tap Nyx. Tracks into this room. It's hidden maybe. Or he went to the stairway. No tracks. Tracks. I just want to see the results of this battle here. Good old PvP. I guess he's going. Still looking for him. There's ignited. Come on, Nyx. There we go. He walks in. Nyx attacks. Ignited runs away and hides. Didn't do a little bit of damage. Oh, there's the tap. Okay, so he ignited, one-shots him. So even with fire protection, he gets completely zeroed. No stun, no bleed. So typically that means no kill, right? If you're going 1v1. So he just goes, he goes 2 or 3 rooms away. And that's it. Bandages himself. Smart. Shapeshifts again. Has a timer. Ignited finds him. Casts a spell. And does 0 damage. So Nyx attacks. See, that's the kind of skill. That's Darkness Falls skill right there. Nyx, in my mind, reading this, saw that he got hit for 0 damage. And so the mechanic was if you were zeroed and at 0 health, you were still alive, but any damage past that point, you would die. But if you had 1 hit point or more, then you potentially had 2 separate attacks or 2 separate sources of damage that you could take before you die. So you could use that to your advantage. And Nyx was really good at that. So I can see within 1 second, it's probably automatic for him, but for me, I'm like, there's no way I'm that fast, especially as the troll. My main was a troll. So Ignited comes in, right? Nyx. So he tries to go to like a door or the tapestry, but it's closed. So he's 1 room closer to Ignited than he wanted to be. Closer to danger, right? He shapeshifts out, right, which is a 0 timer, like, you know, a global cooldown, if you will. Bandages himself to 1 hit point. Has a timer while Ignited is there. So it takes Ignited from here to here. It takes him 3 seconds to realize maybe he was targeting like Hellwolf or something. He comes in, he's targeting Hellwolf or whatever. Doesn't hit anything, even though he sees an enemy in the room, right? So that's probably why it takes so long. Then while he's like, oh crap, it's not a wolf, it's Nyx. He goes, okay, I'm gonna cast it on Nyx. But then as soon as he does that, Nyx shapeshifts into a Hellwolf. But so it's like back and forth. You got to get your targets perfect, right? And then so he shapeshifts. It gives him a 3-second timer. So I'm not sure if that's agility or wisdom based. It's probably just agility, but I mean a 3-second timer to shapeshift. So there's that. So let's get to where the main thing, right? So 3 seconds total for Ignited to come in the room and try and kill him. But somehow he, so his protection on his boots protects him from the entire spell, so he takes 0 damage. And he must have seen that and attacks right away. Maybe he's just going to attack anyway, even though he's at one hit point, right? Because Ignited is tapped. He can't cast any more spells or any like powerful ones. Well, I guess I take that back. Like Column of Fire, like that's a pretty high level spell, or higher than level 1 at least. Anyway, it's like in-depth analysis here. So Nyx goes on the offensive because he's like screw it, I don't care. Like I know he's probably out of power, and he can't double me. He can only hit me once, one at a time, and I got hit for 0 damage. So this is like that right there is an in-depth PvP analysis right there. All right, pretty interesting stuff. And this kind of stuff, like, okay, so 52, right? I'm highlighting this. This is the hour, minute, second. So just to cap this off, right? So it ignited, like, wallops him for all his health in one hit at 37, and then the skirmish kind of ends temporarily at 52, right? So that's 15 seconds. Really fast. It may sound like a long time, but that's why this game is so great. It's because how fast everything is. So if you get good at timing your attacks, that's great. Anyway, so battle keeps going. At this point, Nyx is like, oh, that's right. So yeah, he has to shapeshift out of wolf form to open doors, and then shape back in, right? So he's mastered this already. He's already max rank, and he tries to attack the door. I don't know why. Tench is it was a vampire, right? Or like a skeleton, maybe. So his buddy's around, and Ignited's taking off probably. It's like, screw this. I only want a 1v1. So that's a really good kind of example of an ogre tapper caster against a werewolf, like max level spells, power, and all that. So tappers relied on the stun and a bleed to really get a kill. Excuse me, but it wasn't always guaranteed. So yeah, hope that was interesting. Let's see what else is in here. Some old names here: Triskel, Hots, Cathadrin, Laughter, Doritos. There's Doritos. Tench, Whim, Force, Scribe. All token evil character names. All right. You guys still alive out there? All right. Alright. Cool. Alright, that was fun. Okay, you're alive? Okay, good. I gotta keep moving this, it's annoying. So go ahead and follow the stream if you haven't already, guys. I will have to migrate to a different channel, but give us a follow so that we get some more support from Twitch. Plus I made a really cool graphic overlay for it. So follow if you haven't already. Let me know what you think about the elder portraits. I'm kind of like liking them and thinking about them still. I love the Tamian one for sure. This one's pretty cool. I like the female vampire. It's definitely titillating. I like this one too, for sure. Just trying to think if there's any other details that we could throw in to make him look more epic. But yeah, I think that's about all I'm gonna do for now. I'm getting kind of sleepy here. It's very late for everybody, I'm sure. So yeah, Um, Thanks for listening to this weird ass music with me. Um, so yeah, guys, we'll go back to um, put this back up here. So yep. There we go. So yeah, so basically, big news is we're rebranding. We filed for a trademark. We have an LLC already, and we're just waiting to get the paperwork done. I'll be working on the Kickstarter. Mike is spending his free time getting the migration done, and hopefully he gets lucky and gets some big chunks of time on the weekends to really crank that out. So unfortunately, time is very valuable to him right now, and he doesn't have a lot of it. But he's still working away, still doing what he can, Yeah, that's about all I have for tonight. So thanks so much for following, watching, being supporters, donating, all that good stuff. Facebook.com/Play Darkness Rises for up-to-date postings and whatnot, and our DFC group. If you haven't joined the DFC group, that's kind of our private Facebook group for all the old school peoples. Pretty much everybody's on there. We have 355 people, which is pretty crazy. It's almost like the entire community. Okay, that's getting a little weird. But I do love the kind of melodic, rhythmic stuff. These guys. It's called Heilung, which is German for cure. And I guess they're a German kind of, I don't know what the heck you call it. It's like progressive, tribal Viking band or something. I don't know what you call it. It's good stuff. Alright. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. And yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna try and continue streaming at a regular rate so that you guys don't get too far away from us. Yeah, so I'm working pretty much every day on content myself. And being that it's game content, I don't want to spoil any of it, so I can't really preview any of that with you guys just yet. But when oh, that's my phone. What is vibrating? So when we get to the beta client, that's when we'll kind of get more stuff out there, and you guys will be more directly involved, and you can see all that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. What else am I trying to do here? That's the opening. So I think I'll just go back to this, and I'll go ahead and play this out. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, your Sunday. Stay cool out there. And yeah, we'll see you soon. You know where to find me. We have a Twitch server. We have a Facebook group. You can direct message me anytime on Facebook. It's all good. So I'll leave some music on for the outro, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
ga ga.